I am welcoming you all of them to Chemistry of Main Group Elements course. Today I am going to talk about pseudohalogen. Okay. First of all, why should we have to study this topic? What information you can get from this topic that we have to know? We are familiar with halogens. Since higher secondary onwards, we are hearing halogens such as fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. So their chemistry can easily, we already know something about halogens. In case of some of the inorganic radicals or inorganic anions such as N3, NCO, CNO, NCS, CN. These are some of the inorganic radicals. Their behavior is closely associated with halogens such as fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. So, this whatever the inorganic radicals will be called as pseudohalogens. We know the chemistry of halogens, so it's easy to keep in memory about the chemistry of inorganic radicals such as N3, NCO, CNO, NCS and Cn. Okay. Now let me see what are the properties of halogen as well as these inorganic radicals are matching. That I am going to discuss in this lecture. First one, hydrogen halides. Hydrogen halides are well known that we know since school days such as HF, HCl, HBr and HI. So these are the various hydrogen halides that we already know the existence are already known. Similarly, hydrogen pseudohalides also exist. Hydrogen pseudohalides also exist. N3H. This one will be called as hydroxoic acid. Hydroxoic acid. Next one is HNCO. When we come to HNCO, we have to make sure that the hydrogen was attached with either nitrogen or oxygen. Because if the attached with nitrogen, that will be called as isocyanic acid. Isocyanic acid. In case if it is attached with oxygen, that will be different compound. For example, the anion if you have taken NCO minus, then this one will be called as isocyanate. At the same time, if this negative charge will be in oxygen atom, I mean like this will be called as cyanate. Hope you understand the difference between these two compounds. So the negative charge where it was localized more, either in the nitrogen center or oxygen center. And also the similar type of things we already know with sulfur derivatives also. N minus CS, which will be called as isothiocyanate. And also NCO Yes, minus. This will be called as thiocyanate. When we come to the next compound, CNO. Again, this CNO will be come under the family of ambidentate ligands. So, carbon having negative charge or carbon having hydrogen, then that will be called as fulminic acid. Fulminic acid. Their corresponding anions will be called as fulminate. So, these are some of the properties which are matching with each other. So, this is the first one I have discussed here. We have some other properties also matching between these two group of radicals. Second one will be metal salt. We have various library of metal halides are known. Metal halides are known. Generally, I can write as MX. Here M is alkali metals, alkaline earth metals, and various kind of transition metals such as you can put iron. Just give me a representative example, iron 2 plus. X and also lanthanides also. Lanthanides you can give, I can give gadolinium, anyone. Similarly, X is equal to fluoride, chloride, bromide and iodide. So, various kind of metals also, metal halides are existent. Similarly, metal pseudo halides also known. Metal pseudo halides. For example, potassium thiocyanate is very well known compound. Normally we are using for the confirmation of iron in salt analysis. Potassium cyanide. This one is another well known compound, and I can write so many metal pseudo halides. So again, what happened? The chemist, their properties of metal halides and metal pseudo halides are matched. Third one, formation of coordination complex. Formation of coordination complex. Tetrachloronickelate. NaCl4 2 minus. So chloride ion have the ability to form coordination complex with the nickel ions. I can write some more examples also. Maybe Fe, F6 3 minus. And then I can write with the various halides like that of so many complexes. I can write like this. If I come to metal coordination complexes with pseudo halides, then I have an example of potassium ferricyanide. Potassium ferricyanide as well as potassium ferrocyanide. Cyanide here is a pseudo halide. And also we have an example of maybe this is in another example. Zinc complexes of thiocyanate. So it is again what happened? How halide is behaving. Similarly, such kind of ambidentate ligands or inorganic radicals of Cn and SCN also behaving in the same way. Okay. Fourth one, most of the metal halides are soluble, but some of them are insoluble also. For example, if you have taken silver salt, mostly insoluble. For example, if it is silver chloride, silver bromide and silver iodide have very less solubility product. So mostly what happened, that silver salt of halides are insoluble, And also we know that mercuric salt, mercurous salt as well as mercury containing halides have again less solubility. And lead chloride, again what happened? It's an insoluble solid. So these are some of the examples for insoluble solids. At the same time, if we compare with the pseudo halogens such as N3, NCO, that can also form the most of the silver salts are insoluble. Maybe we can go to silver acide. Silver acide is insoluble in water, and also we can have silver thiocyanate. Again, what happened? It is insoluble solid. So what happened? It is again what happened? The properties of halide, the properties of metal halides, such as fall in the category of insoluble salt. That whatever is behaving similar way of inorganic radicals of ambidextrous ligand also behaving in the similar way. It is another example. Then what about polyhalide ions? Another interesting property about the halide ion is halide have the ability to form polyhalide. Polyhalide ion. That means, what does it mean? For example, potassium iodide plus iodine, if you mix it will give potassium triiodide. I mean here I3 minus is a polyhalide ions. So similarly, when we come to inorganic ambidextrous ligand, that can also form a such kind of pseudo halide ion. Pseudo halide ion. Simplest example will be SCl thrice minus. So whatever halide ion is forming a kind of polyhalide, similarly SCN derivative is also SCN radical also have the ability to form such kind of pseudo halide ions. Then the next one is interhalogen compounds. We know that interhalogen compound means halogen was one of the halogen was bonded with another halogen. Interhalogen compounds. Interhalogen compounds. Simply I can write this will be called as X. This one will be called as Y. So interhalogen compounds X prime. So X prime means I have an example of IF, ICl, IBr, IF3. So I can write so many interhalogen compounds. So similarly, we also know inter-pseudo-halogen compounds. Inter-pseudo-halogen compounds. That means these inorganic ambidextrous ligands have the ability to form such kind of inter-pseudo-halogen compounds. CN3. Here CN is one kind of pseudo-halogen and another N3 is another kind of pseudo-halogen. These two are forming inter-pseudo-halogen compounds. I have variety of examples: CN, NCS, CN, NCSE, CN, Cl. So it is a kind of Cn and Cl, halogen and pseudo-halogen. These two are connected. So I have various examples like that of how much interhalogen compounds are known. See, at the same way, pseudo-halogen also have the ability to form various kinds of variety of examples of inter-pseudo-halogen compounds. It is another example which supports that the behavior of halogen and inorganic ambidextrous ligands are almost matched. the behavior is almost close to each other. And another one is we have taken any kind of halides. For example, if I take maybe sodium chloride, if I dissolve this one in a sulfuric acid, maybe I can put any acid H plus, then if I react this one with a mild oxidizing agent such as MnO2, then what happen? It can give the liberation of chlorine. Dimer will form. Dimer of halogen radical. So chlorine gas is formed and then we can get water molecules plus manganese will be in +2 oxidation state. So it's very well-known reaction. By making use of this way, we can synthesize, we can prepare the chlorine gas in the laboratory scale. At the same time, if we take an example of any kind of inorganic ambient ligand, such as maybe I can give the selective one examples, thiocyanate, SCN minus, plus acid, plus manganese dioxide. If you react this one, it can also give SCN twice, plus water, plus manganese 2 plus. Again what happened? This one is dimer of SCN radical. So whatever, again this one is supporting like how halide is behaving with mild oxidizing agent. The similar way, what happened? The inorganic ambient ligand also behaving in the similar way. Like that, which is supporting again for what happened? Chlorine, the properties of chlorine is again closer with closer with inorganic ambient ligand. Normally, in the estimation of copper, by making use of iodometric titration, we will do like reacting copper 2 plus with iodide. If we react this one, copper 2 plus here act as an oxidizing agent that will oxidize I minus to I2 plus cuprous iodide. This will be precipitated. So this one we know already like that, because here what happened, copper 2 plus act as an oxidizing agent that converts I minus to iodine ion to iodine molecule. Similarly, copper 2 plus also behaving with the inorganic ambient radicals. For example, with the CN. Yes, with the CN, it can give you cyanogen plus cuprous cyanide. So cyanogen will form whatever like that of halogen radicals behaves, the similar way CN radicals also behaving, not CN radicals, CN minus. Cyanide also, whatever the halide behaves with copper 2 plus, the similar way cyanide also behaving with the copper 2 plus. It is again what happened? The properties of the halogens are closely matched with the inorganic ambient ligand. Normally, halogens have the ability to undergo disproportionation reaction with the base. For example, chlorine. Chlorine, if you react with the sodium hydroxide, it can undergo sodium hydroxide base. If you react this one, it can give OCl plus Cl minus plus sodium ion. Okay. So here what happened? Chlorine was undergoing chlorine molecule is giving both oxidized as well as reduced species. increase. Here the oxidation state of chlorine is 0. It was oxidized to Cl plus and reduced to Cl minus. So this reaction will be called as disproportionation reaction. Disproportionation reaction. Similar type of reaction can also be observed with the inorganic ambient molecules. For example, if you take an example of CN, cyanogen. Cyanogen if you react this one with the sodium hydroxide will also give such kind of the halide how behaves. Similar way it will also behaves now. So CN, cyanogen will give cyanide ion as well as isocyanate ion. It is again supporting how does the behavior of it shows that how does the halogen behave here with sodium hydroxide. Similar way was the pseudo halogens like that of dimer of Cl also behaving in the similar way. Okay. And another interesting reaction with halogen is addition reaction. Normally, if you have taken any kind of alkene compounds, the simplest one I can take ethylene molecule. If ethylene molecule, if you react with halogens such as chlorine or bromine, it can give normally what happen? Addition product like that of Br CH2 Br. Addition reaction. Halogen will always undergo addition reaction with the alkenes. So similar way, what happened? Pseudo-halogen, dimer of pseudo-halogen radical also behaving in the similar way. If you take this molecule, if you react this one, I think I can write more specifically NCS. Okay, because nitrogen was bonded with the nitrogen. So what happened? This molecule also can this kind of dimer of pseudo halogen radical also undergo addition reaction with the alkene. Okay. So I think I have discussed enough properties which are closely associated halogen with inorganic ambidentate ligands. And most of the time we know that halides, if you take an example of halides that can work as monodentate or bidentate or tridentate, even tetradentate of the chloride ion also known. When we come to pseudo halides like that, maybe you can take SCN minus or cyanide. So these molecules, what happen? Will be not go as a bidentate or tridentate. It has two different heteroatoms. So normally it will be called as ambidentate ligand. That may be the another difference between the ambidentate ligand. That is another difference between the halide and pseudo halide actually like that, because halides can go as monodentate to tetradentate ligand. It can act as monodentate to tetradentate ligand. But when we come to cyanide or thiocyanate such as pseudo halide ion, it will behave as ambidentate ligand because it was made up of minimum two different heteroatoms. Okay, and I would like to, because these are some of the properties which are closely matching with the halogens. So again I am repeating, we know that we are very familiar with the chemistry of halogens or halides. That whatever some of the inorganic radicals, their behavior also very closely associated with halogen or halide, halogen radical or halide. So we can easily understand, whether we can easily keep in mind like that of with the inorganic radicals behavior. So what happened? This concept of pseudo halogens. I would like to conclude this session now. The concept of pseudo halogens proves useful in systematizing the chemistry of inorganic radicals such as N3, NCO, CNO, NCS and CN. At the same time, the chemistry is almost, because most of the times what happened, their behavior is similar, but at the same time these inorganic radicals like that of, and we find some differences also. I have already noted like that of noted in this lecture, because this one will be like that of the coordination behavior of halide and like that of the inorganic radicals will be slightly differ in some cases. So what happened? We should never follow blindly like that of, we have to understand more about them, because some of their chemistries are exactly matching, and some of their behaviors are not that much exactly overlapped with the halogens. So another example I can tell, the hydrogen acid, the hydrogen halides, we know that these are very strong acids, but when it comes to hydrogen derivative of pseudo halides, all the pseudo halides are weak acid. So we should not completely accept that the halogen behavior and the pseudo halogen behavior will be like both of them are exactly similar, and we have to so that's why I am finalizing that one. We should never follow blindly for halogen versus pseudo halogen. So finally, reference for this topic actually, inorganic chemistry. Principles of structure and reactivity. Author James E. Hughey. 4th edition. Okay. Finally, thank you very much for all of them to participating in this lecture.